At first glance, U feels like it might actually work. Yeah, right, this thing was doomed before it even went in the ground. After lowering it in, you take a step back and realise you put it in upside down, but already can't be bothered to change it and your city just got nuked, so in you go, great, now let's pour in the dirt. As it fills up, you realise there's nothing above you to stop that dirt from falling straight into your living space. Everything inside, including yourself, just gets buried. Your supplies, your bedding, you're probably going to be sleeping with the worms tonight. So yeah, certified safety rating of 0. Just think, when archaeologists of the future dig up your bones from the dirt, they'll immediately know you were an idiot based on the way you buried your shelter the wrong way round. Number 9. I barely qualifies as a bunker. While the dirt is being poured in, it gives you a small moment of protection. You know, from that little sticky out part at the top, it's almost like it's wearing a baseball cap. Once everything settles though, you're basically surrounded by earth with no separation. Dirt presses in from every side because there's nothing to stop it. You don't have walls, so much as a vague outline of where the walls might have been. I guess maybe this was like a prototype of a bunker. Maybe this was just one of the support beams, but the rest of the walls and stuff just got lost in transit. So maybe this one wasn't entirely your fault. Let's blame Amazon Prime instead. Number 8. H. H is the first one in this list that doesn't instantly kill you, which, believe it or not, is the main aim of most shelters. When it's first installed, it feels solid. I could just see it now, you staring proudly at it like a dad with a new grill. It's got sidewalls, a roof, and enough space to move around without crouching. For a while, it does exactly what you want a bunker to do. The problem is time. See, we don't know how long this nuclear crap could last. It could be years. And over that time, dirt settles and pressure increases. Small weaknesses become big problems. Think about it. Week 1, it's a little crack in the wall, but month 3, and it's a massive crevice. And that slow realization that your roof might give up is not something you want during a bombardment. Eventually, the ceiling starts to look suspicious. You notice sagging, and eventually, yeah, it caves in. Number 7. G. G is half committed. This one's a bit interesting because you install it partly into the ground with the lower section buried and the tail sticking out above the surface. The underground portion actually gives you a decent protection. You can feel shielded from impact and debris. The issue is that exposed section. It's not exactly subtle. It's highly visible, and visibility is bad in this scenario. It also creates a weak point for anything you're trying to keep out, whether it's radiation, debris, or unwanted attention. G works, but it also advertises itself, which feels like a design flaw. Number 6. E. E finally gives you something that feels engineered, as if the designer looked at letters like I and U and realised these are failures to learn from. Ladies and gentlemen, we have flat floors and straight walls. You can put things down without them rolling away. Wow, this is revolutionary technology. Now you can organise your canned chicken tendies. Stack them up, buddy. The downside, though, is the dirt's persistence. Over time, soil pushes in through every possible opening. So corners start filling up, edges are starting to get clogged. Put it this way, you'll spend a lot of time shoveling dirt back out of the spaces you just cleared. E keeps you safe, but it also gives you chores, and they are constant ones. So you'll be surviving, but you're going to be busy doing it. Number 5. R. R is, what word could I use? Oh, I know, ambitious. It gives you 2 living spaces, which sounds alright until you actually start using them. The upper rounded section appears cozy. Perhaps it's the one you might choose to live in. Yeah, big mistake. Yeah, see, the curves mean you are always sliding towards the wall. Even sitting becomes a challenge. The lower section is more practical, but the roof angle is low enough that you're always aware of it. You can't really forget where your head is. I mean, you can definitely live in here, I'm not doubting that, but you'll always be adjusting your posture and your position. In other words, you're never quite going to be fully relaxed. Number 4. M. M is actually very promising. Structurally, it's solid, actually providing the bunker with 4 solid beams for support. Not only that, but the weight distributes well. Just look at that symmetry. The roof also stays where it's meant to be, which is an added bonus. And did I mention, there's enough space to bring a neighbour, which could be comforting or catastrophic depending on who that neighbour is. Knowing my luck, I get stuck with someone like I Show Speed screaming his head off at 3 AM. The real highlights to this one, though, is that you've got defined areas with decent headroom and no constant maintenance issues. It doesn't try to be clever or anything fancy, it just holds up. In a bunker, that's a very valuable trait. Number 3. N. If you're willing to sacrifice company, in other words, you've just remembered you're extremely introverted and hate most human contact, N becomes a very strong choice. You get a lot of space, more than expected actually, and the angled structure does a great job of keeping you intact. There is a downside, of course, like with all these designs, which is that the floor is just bare ground, which isn't luxurious, but it's much more favourable than having dirt absolutely everywhere. In terms of practicality, you can lay things down and move around, and nothing is slowly collapsing. N feels stable in a quiet, neat and reliable way. You lose the option of bringing someone else, but you do gain peace and a structure that doesn't keep you up at night. Number 2. O. O is almost ideal. The shape distributes pressure evenly, which means nothing caves in. And hang on, I feel like my logic is tight there. Like, I swear I remember an experiment where someone stood on a single leg and it didn't crack. I might be making that up, but you get my point. You feel protected from all sides is what I'm trying to say. The issue is the interior. It's one big circular room and the floor has a slight curve. I can't put anything down in here without it automatically being rolled back to my feet. You'll find yourself repositioning things just to keep them where you left them. Still, those are small problems. You kind of forget about those as you hear the constant bombardment from above. As far as bunkers go, O does almost everything right. Number 1. A. A is the clear winner. The structure naturally deflects dirt away from the interior, so nothing from above or the sides forces its way in. You get 2 levels, which immediately makes life underground more manageable. The upper section has a small gap that works perfectly for storage, so food, supplies, things you don't need constantly can be stored in there. And that lower section gives you a proper living area with a flat floor and enough room to function like a person instead of a panicked animal. Point being, if you had to bury yourself and wait out the worst, this is the shape you'd want surrounding you.